What's up, guys? This is Ty Zen again. I got my buddy Leon Fu right here with me, and we're from prisonorfreedom.com, and we like to talk about the tools, the technologies, and the strategies that's available to help people find more freedom in their lives. And we're here at
Brave New Books.
Brave New Books at the corner of Guadalupe and Martin Luther King. We're right across the street, pretty much from the University of Texas in the city of Austin, which is the capital city of the state of Texas, in case you guys live outside the U.S. And with us here today, we have John. He is the founder of the Austin Bitcoin Meetup, right? So could you talk a little bit about yourself and what prompted you to get into Bitcoins? What prompted you to start the Bitcoin Meetup here in Austin?
Right. Well, Bitcoin's always interested me because of the free market aspects. With the stock market, if you want to buy stocks, how do you buy stocks? You have to go through a broker,
A middleman.
and you can never actually own your own stocks in anything. Yeah. And what Bitcoin kind of made me realize was that it was possible for people to own shares in something or pieces of something without going through a middleman and actually control their own, destinies in the market.
Okay.
Looking at exchanges like Mt. Gox at the time, or BTC-E, all these people that were able to just trade freely, and there were little market fees here and there, but there was no middleman doing the trading for them.
So it's a direct person-to-person transaction.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this started back in 2012, and I was always a little bit interested in it. But my interest peaked last year when Mt. Gox, they took the price up to $250. And I had 4 Bitcoins at the time, and I sold them. And as the price went up and down for the next consecutive 2 days, 3 days, I think at the time, I made quite a bit of money. But at the time, I also realized that there was a problem. That we had centralized exchanges for decentralized currencies, and that didn't really make sense to me. There was like a broken link in the chain. So at the time I started a project called Peer-to-Peer OX, Peer-to-Peer Exchange. It was P2POX. It was supposed to be a peer-to-peer piece of software for facilitating exchanges of cryptocurrency.
Now, what's your background? And to do something like that, are you a coder like Leon, or
I guess I come from the hacker background.
Okay.
When I was 12, I taught myself C programming and then Linux, and I graduated from college when I was 17. I worked at Rackspace for 7 years, and I worked at Hewlett-Packard for 2 years, and now I work for Monetas, which is another.
So you've had some extensive corporate background.
Right.
Plus, so when you saw this decentralized technology called Bitcoin, that really just really gravitated towards it then?
Definitely. I think naturally I'm anti-corporate, and I think my coworkers at the time definitely saw that, which is probably why I felt I needed to get out of the places that I was at.
So we got like another version of Vitalik, or something like that. Here, okay. So now talk a little bit about the Bitcoin meetup in Austin that you started here. Was it just you who started it, or was it a group of people, or?
It was.
What got you to just, hey, I'm going to start up a Bitcoin meetup here in Austin?
Well, I'd always run meetups here in Austin. I did some for EVE Online. I run the Austin. I don't run it, but I help facilitate the Austin 2600 Hackers Meetup. So I knew a little bit about the meetup sphere, and I looked for Bitcoin meetups, but I couldn't find any.
So you just created one?
I just created one because I knew it needed to be done.
Okay.
And for the first couple of months, it was just a handful of people here and there at every meetup. I didn't come to every meetup, of course. They were very small. But then as the price started to go up and as the price skyrocketed, our meetups exploded. And we've had over 100 people at some meetups.
This is one of the first meetups I've been to where you guys had quite a bit of people. I had to actually wait until everybody cleared out just to talk to you and interview you, Speaking of meetup, right? Let's scale it up a little bit and talk about conferences. Right now, word on the street is that you were responsible, or you're part of the organizing the Texas Bitcoin Conference.
Right.
Is that true, false? Because I spoke at the Texas Bitcoin Conference. So and Leon was there also, and so to talk a little about that. So you went from doing a small meetup here, and now you scale up to a huge conference, and that's at the international level. So where did you get that inspiration, idea from, and what was it some of the stumbling blocks that you guys ran into?
I think from conversations with our meetup members back in November, maybe even before then in October, we always had the idea of running a conference. And sure enough, we decided we were going to run a conference. We had to look at the logistics of what we needed to run a conference. And at the time, we were going to do a small conference. It was going to be a small, like, Hilton-type conference. There were going to be a couple hundred people. It was going to be really scaled down. And we were going to have cheap tickets, $100 a ticket at the most. And that was what we were aiming for. And in order to throw one of these conferences, we needed a business entity. So I, along with some other Meetup members, started the Texas Bitcoin Association, which was supposed to help facilitate, the money needed to run one of these conferences. Unbeknownst to us, they also ran up the price of the conference.
When you say they, who is they? The government, the CIA, the members, the Meetup group?
So the Texas
Satoshi Nakamoto?
So
who's
the
they?
Bitcoin Association was originally 4 members. It was me, John Rumion, it was Rafael Rodriguez, and Paul Snow, and Steve Wilkinson. We're the 4 voting members of this association.
Okay.
It was an LLC membership.
Now, is that for certain, or is that something that you just made up? I mean, like,
Oh.
like some people, they go somewhere and they say, oh, I'm part of this foundation, or I'm part of this organization, and you find out they're just one of the members' buddy or something. So you were an actual member.
Absolutely.
So you were one of the original founding members and creators of the Texas Bitcoin.
In fact, I was the vice president of the association. And the money that was used in order to start this association and to register the name with the state's secretary was, the money came from the Meetup group. All the money that people had been donating over the months preceding then became the wallet for paying the money to start the association.
Okay.
So over the coming months, as the conference was becoming closer, the deadline of the conference was, of course, South by Southwest. It was the day before South by Southwest.
So it was like around March. South
week
by
of
Southwest
March.
is like the biggest music technology festival that's in the state of Texas, or probably one of the biggest ones in the country. And it's in March usually in the spring around March. So the deadline was to get it sometime in March to have the conference.
Right.
Especially right before South by Southwest.
South by Southwest, the day before South by Southwest, because we anticipated that there was going to be a large influx of technical people because of South by Southwest Interactive. So it started 2 days before South by Southwest Interactive. It started on a Wednesday. But I should actually backpedal, because when we first started the conference, it was only supposed to be a one-day conference.
Yeah.
Because part of starting this association was not only did we want to do these conferences, we also wanted to educate Texans. We wanted to have like a central association, a central group for providing educational materials across Texas. We wanted to make pamphlets and billboards and throw classes in Texas.
So basically the purpose of you setting up the Meetup was to educate people in Austin, but the purpose of the Texas Bitcoin Conference was to educate the entire state.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're scaling it up now.
Scaling it up,
Okay.
because I thought that we had done so well here that perhaps we could spread that out to the rest of Texas. And there's other Meetup groups in Texas, and we wanted to provide resources for them as well. We wanted to go to these other Meetup groups and help them start their Meetup groups, or help them grow their communities, and really bring us under, I guess, one umbrella, not really an official umbrella, but one umbrella where there was educational resources for everybody under this umbrella to get information from, or for us to be able to easily communicate things out to all these groups in Texas.
Yeah.
So that was my ambition for starting the association, was to help throw this conference and to help educate people in Texas.
Okay.